I'm Tim Kelly here at the 162nd Bloomsburg Fair. The fair made a decision prior to this year that they were going to ban the sale of Nazi paraphernalia, including flags, after last year having to kick a vendor out for selling Nazi paraphernalia. This year they encouraged people not to bring or sell Confederate flags. They did not outright ban them, which led to a protester burning a joint Nazi and Confederate flag at the courthouse prior to the fair starting. We're going to talk to some vendors and also to some fairgoers about their thoughts on the Confederate flag, what it means to them, whether it should be sold, whether they would buy it, and much more. The fair recommended this year that people do not sell Confederate flags. They outright banned the sale of Nazi flags. They recommended that people don't sell Confederate stuff. Why do you think they did that?
I think probably just to put pause to this conversation that seems to be stirring up society when it really isn't necessary to be stirred up. I think the Confederate flag is history. I mean, it's our history. It's part of our country. It's part of what we were built on. It doesn't mean that we're still living under the Confederate flag. So I'm not really sure why people feel the need to ban it. The same way with the statues and everything else. No one in today's world is holding slaves anymore, or being slave owners, or no one is really a slave anymore. So I'm really not sure what the purpose is for banning the flag or banning statues. Hey, I'm coming from a perspective that God loves us all, and so whether we're from the north, the south, the east, or the west, the banning of flags is just not really necessary in my book.
We're here with John, who's the owner of this stand. This stand has the "Don't Tread on Me" flags behind us, right behind our camera is a Confederate flag. To be fair, there's Army flags, there's Blue Lives Matter flags, there's tons of different flags around this stand. John, why do you think it's divisive at all to have the Confederate flag being sold?
No. To answer your question, no. It's actually part of our history, and it doesn't really stand for racism. I know a lot of people say it does, but it doesn't. And also, the Confederate flag is not this traditional flag that we're used to, that everybody's seeing. It's actually a 7-star flag, which I have. Okay, so the fair did they outright banned the sale of Nazi flags this year. I don't get the impression you would have been selling those anyway, but they did make a recommendation that Confederate flags not be sold. I know there was a protest prior to the fair of somebody burning a Confederate flag along with the Nazi flag. What do you kind of say to those people that feel that it is divisive? Do your history. What they're burning is actually not the Confederate flag. They're actually burning it's what they call the battle flag, and people don't know the difference. But it's like, again, it doesn't stand for what people think it stands for.
At a certain point with race relations, how they are in America right now, don't you think that it just kind of gets to the point where it's not even worth the attempt to put it out?
I think we should all just be saluting our one American flag.
Is there a point where you just say, given the climate of race relations in this country right now, that it's just not worth it? It's not part of the solution?
Absolutely not, because it's not a lot of African American. There's actually only 3% of the people who are actually against this. The media is actually blown this out of proportion to make you think that. For example, my friend, who's a 6'7" black guy, he helps me sell products when I need his help, and he has no problem doing it. But he's educated. He actually knows what the flag stands for, and it's not racism.